Yo. Okay, so I just watched the first episode of Chainsaw Man. I know it's late. I know this is going up late. It's 1:06 a.m. I got off work. I don't have off on Tuesdays. Sorry, guys. But I really wanted to talk about the show. This is a very hotly anticipated series, right? This is one of the most popular manga ever made. And this anime has been talked about for quite some time, and it's finally here. Studio Mappa, Crunchyroll. How was it? Pretty good. It was pretty good. I liked it a lot. So for starters, I really like Denji as the main character. I really like this guy. I really like Pochita as well. I love the monologue that Pochita gives when they say that I'm here to see your dream, right? I want to see your dream realized. And I really enjoy that stuff. Even the monologues like, oh my goodness, I'm too hungry to sleep. And when I'm hungry, I think about money, and that makes it even harder to sleep. I really, really enjoyed that line. I really like seeing a character poverty-stricken, I guess. It's kind of something we don't see too much in anime, or especially in like shonen. This is not our typical lead hero, right? And I really like him. Yeah, he's kind of a dog, right? He's kind of this pathetic character at this state, but it's all because of his father, right? His father racked up this debt with some kind of organization. I'm not exactly sure. They don't really make it clear, and they're here to collect in the form of Denji being a devil hunter, Akuma, demons, basically. And he does that with Pochita. Pochita is just this little pup, right? And it's a little chainsaw pup thing. I should mention, before I continue onward, I don't really know anything about this series. I don't know anything about this manga. This is a manga that the only thing I know about is how popular it is. I've seen this manga when chapters come out, they're trending on Twitter, right? This is a super popular series that definitely it's racked up quite the community, right? It's racked up quite the fan base. And I know I'm out of place, right? You know, I don't know everything about this world. I don't know everything about these characters. I'm an anime only at this point, and that's okay, right? That's okay. But it makes it really, really fun to take in this series because, I knew about Denji. I knew Denji as a character. I knew Chainsaw Man, this big fucking chainsaw dude, right? Chainsaw Man. I knew that was a character. I did not know that those were one and the same character until I watched the PV. I was like, oh shit. Denji becomes Chainsaw Man. That's a thing. Okay. And you know, as the episode progresses, that's the conclusion, right? You know, he's gonna fuse with Pochita somehow. And they do. Pochita drinks his blood, and because they made a pact, and I really, really enjoyed that as well. I really enjoy Denji and Pochita as being kind of like partners in crime, being these two poor souls that have kind of suffered in poverty and suffered through hard times. Pochita owes Denji its life, right? Because Denji offered its blood, and there's sort of again like a partnership there. And I really love again the monologue that Pochita gives. Like, I want to see your dream. I'm gonna make that happen. We're gonna make that happen. Let's fucking go. It's Chainsaw Man time. Rev it up, baby. I love that a lot, and I'm really curious. Like, what exactly does that dream take shape in? You know, what is that dream? Obviously, you know, there's a sort of continuous theme that Denji wants a normal life, right? He says that as he's dying, essentially. And is that the dream, right? Just to be a normal human being? Just to be this normal fucking dude? Is that what he's trying to do? I'm really, really curious. And then we're introduced to this female character. It's either Makima or Power. Again, I only know names. I think that's one of the lead female characters. I'm going to say Makima. I think that's Makima. I think Power's going to be more of like a devil girl, right? I think she's going to be more demon-oriented, whereas Makima might be human. I don't really know. But she kind of preys on his patheticness and says, like, yeah, I can kill you right now, or I could give you some breakfast. You want to eat? You look hungry. You're skinny. Let's get you fed. It's bread and jam, baby. and maybe even some dessert. Like, I kind of like the motivation of just being fucking alive and finding solace in food, finding solace in just like general things that make regular human beings happy, right? I like how that's sort of the driving force of Denji. Like, dude, I just want a good fucking meal. I just want to eat breakfast with a cute girl. And I can kind of a little bit relate to that, right? Like, we've all kind of been in those spots, right, where we're struggling a little bit in terms of money. At least me being a young adult, that's a thing. So that's kind of how I felt towards this episode, is that like I kind of relate to Denji. Is that a good thing? No, it's not. Absolutely not. It's not a good idea. It's not a good time relating to Denji, this poor bastard in this series. But I do, and I really feel his struggle. The beginning of the episode I thought was fabulous. I really love how this episode started. I love seeing him just like, it's time to go to work, dude. Let's rev up, baby. Let's kick some demon ass. Like, I like that stuff. I like how it is like sort of a grind. I love this line of dialogue where he's just mentioning all the things that he sold to make money and how much money he owes to these guys. By the end of this episode, he no longer owes those guys. He's free now. Or maybe not, now that we've fallen into the hands of this pink-haired lady. It sounds like we're going to be on a tight leash with this girl, because I think in the opening it shows Denji with a leash around his neck and this girl like pulling him. Maybe I saw that incorrectly. I'm not quite sure. The opening is good. Let's talk about the opening for a sec. Sorry, I didn't mean to tap the mic. The opening is good. I like the animation a lot. The animation in this whole episode, good Christ. Mappa is a really talented studio, huh? Mappa knows how to make good anime. They know what they're doing. The animation in this episode is fabulous. The blending of CG and 2D animation is really well done. I like how a lot of the times when like crazy cool Sakuga happens, when there's these like big badass action scenes that our character is fighting some big demon or fighting some big character. In 2D animation, those things happen very fast, right? They're very quick frames because there's not a ton of detail in those frames, because that would be an astronomical task to create this badass fight with all of this detail. But with 3D animation, with CG, you're able to kind of slow things down, right? We're able to take a step back and say, hey, let's just watch Chainsaw Man shred up some fucking zombies, dude. Let's just watch him get in there. Let's slow things down and just watch him methodically just fucking slice up some zombies. I am into that. I really am. I think that utilizing CG and its benefits is extremely important. A lot of times it's to cut cost and to cut time, right? We could just like create a 3D model and just make them move however we want. I know nothing about the anime industry, clearly, but that's kind of my general perspective of it. But this series, I think it used its CG very, very well. I think it really, really worked. Does it look a little janky here and there? Sure, CG in anime typically does, but it's used in a way that makes sense to me. Like, let's slow down the action. Let's show this character move in a 3D space. Let's show him slicing and dicing some fucking zombies. Like, that's the kind of stuff I want to see in CG. I think that really works in CG. Would it look better in 2D? Possibly, but I think that you're able to take more risk with CG, and you're able to experiment more with these types of actions and with these types of character-oriented fights. I think you're able to kind of push the boundaries a little bit more there. And I think this episode did. Anyway, back onto the opening. It's good. It's a good opening. I really like it. I kind of wish, when I first saw the opening, I was thinking, I wish this had more energy to it. I wish the song was a little more pumping, a little more oomph. You know, I needed a little more guitar. I needed a little more shredding. Possibly a little more metal. I kind of wanted to have like a metal feel to it. But as we go through the episode, you know, after the opening, it's very somber. The series is very somber and really fucking depressing. Denji is, again, a poor bastard. This guy is he's in poverty, dude. He's barely getting by. He can't afford to eat. And it's like, maybe we shouldn't be having some poppy badass metal song for the opening. Maybe it should be kind of more stylized and like, hey, this character, he's rising, right? He's going to become a normal person. I don't know. I like the opening a lot. I'm aware of the film references. I did see that tweet. That tweet is kind of popping right now. I'll probably link it in the description or show it on the video right now. I did see those film references. They're really, really cool. And I did not know that the author, the original author of Chainsaw Man, is inspired by film. And you can see that. I'm not saying that he directed this episode or had any, implications or any kind of demand to insert this type of direction, but I'm sure it translates from the manga in some way. Again, this is an anime-only watcher talking. But there are a lot of shots in this episode that resemble shots that would be in a film. When they're walking into the zombie den, this big barn, basically, Makima, I'm assuming, and these two other guys, they walk into this barn full of demons, and the way that that's shot, the way that they get there, from point A to point B, from the car to the barn, it's a good chunk of animation, right? It's a good little chunk of time to get to that point A to point B. But the time that's spent to get to point A to point B is fabulous. Because there's these excellent shots. There's the POV of the camera on the ground. There's the POV, an overhead shot when they first enter. There's a POV of like the sweeping shot from the very back of the barn or the warehouse or wherever the fuck we are. That stuff is really, really nice. That's some film shit, dude. That's some Saldi Brothers shit. A24, right? Like that, it has that kind of vibe to it in a weird way. It's kind of got this magic. There's a little bit of magic happening here. I really enjoyed this episode. It's got action, it's got drive, it's got this this kind of underlining theme of like this character being poverty stricken, being this guy that's gone through some shit, that's gone through some hard times, had to sell his kidney and one of his nuts. He had to do those things, and now things are looking a little bit better because he fused with Pochita. Pochita is adorable, by the way. I really liked this episode. It was really, really good. I'm not sure what I expected going in, to be honest. I'm not sure, like, what my general expectation was. I think good animation was possibly the only thing I was, like, truly expecting. Like, oh, this series is this popular. Mappa is going to invest a lot of time and money into this series. So, yeah, we got that. I definitely got that within the episode. However, I wasn't expecting it to be so depressing. And so, like, you know, as I walk away from it and as I let this episode sort of permeate through my mind, I'm like, shit, that was really dark and sad. And I kind of dig that. Excuse the train in the background if you can hear that. I kind of dig it. I do. Good episode. Very, almost the perfect first episode, if I have to be honest. Like, it had all the things, right? It had all the things that it needed to do, and it did them well. It did them well. Is it spectacular? Am I jumping out of my seat? I actually recorded a reaction. It was pretty laid back. It was pretty, like, I was just kind of sitting there just taking it all in. It's very late at night again, so I can't be, like, energetic in a reaction. That's why I'm not including that in this video. But it's kind of it's a good episode, right? It doesn't overexert itself in its animation. It doesn't overexert itself in its themes. It does a good job of just sort of laying the groundwork of who Denji is as a character and who Pochita is a character and what is this other group. It kind of establishes some world building with the devils and everything and sort of this hierarchy. It mentions the Yakuza a couple of times. I wonder if they're going to be involved in some way. I wonder if are there devils in the Yakuza? What's going on there? His father, are we going to have flashbacks there? There's a couple of shots of like possibly his past. He's like clutching a yen coin or something. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but I dig it. I really enjoyed this episode. It is almost perfect. It is a very, very good first episode. The sophomore episode, however, is going to have to do some heavy lifting because now I need context to sort of this world and everything. I'm going to need some Makima backstory. Again, I think that's Makima. I'm not 100% sure. Anime only, as I mentioned. Comment below and let me know what you thought of this week's episode, the first episode of Chainsaw Man. If you're a manga reader, give me your thoughts in terms of adaptation. What did you think of how they directed the manga to anime? Do you think that this works? Do you think that there's some cool shit that they added, or do you think they took some things away? Give me your thoughts on that. If you were an anime only like me, let's just talk about this episode, man. Let's start theorizing. Let's start getting into this stuff. Comment below and give me your thoughts. Hey, if you like this video review, make sure to click that like thing. Yeah, do that. That means a ton to me. Comment below again. And of course, if you want to see more of this type of content, if you want to see more anime reviews, I do Mob Psycho reviews as well. I've done a ton of Made in Abyss stuff. Consider subscribing. I'm also on Twitch and Twitter down in the links below. Check that stuff out. We're streaming a ton of horror games. Be a part of it. Again, thank you very, very much for watching. And until next time, party on.